Alright, guys, it's finally time. Let's talk about The Fly from 1986. And I bought that box set for the Fly films, all five of them. And I've been watching them in order. And I have been so excited to rewatch this one because I've watched the movie one other time. And I'll explain why with this review. But this is one of my favorite horror movies ever. David Cronenberg, like, he made a masterpiece with this movie. Like, it truly is outstanding what he did in this movie. And I'm not even a person who's seen all of Cronenberg's films, but of the ones I've seen, this is my favorite one. And I really love this movie. I love the fact that you've got the original The Fly, and it's very different than this one. I do like how this one is different as well. And this also has a score by Howard Shore that I've got to mention as well before I, but everything else I don't forget. The score in this is really fantastic as well. But this has an all-star set of main characters with Jeff Goldblum as Seth Brundle and Gina Davis as Veronica. These two have great chemistry. They're so likable. They're so fun. They're so funny. I really like these characters, and I really like what these two actors do with these roles. They're really, really charming and great in this movie. And I love how the movie has different storytelling from the original movie. And it's a remake, but not doing the same thing as the original. Where in the original movie, everything has already happened, and you're seeing after the fact and then getting flashbacks of what happened in the original movie. And in this one, it's not the case. It's Veronica meets Seth Brundle, and they hit it off, and then they go and form a relationship, and then he uses the teleportation machine, and then he starts becoming the Fly. And I love how the storytelling is different in this movie from the original. I think that it brings more for it being a remake to make it its own thing, but also just it works very well in storytelling. And I love the fact that it's a movie that really is great at taking its time, where, like, Seth Brundle, he goes into the teleportation machine, and then he comes out of it thinking everything's great. He feels great. He's got super strength. He's got a higher sex drive. He's got all this stuff that he feels like is, like, the best thing ever. And then the way they build up the fact that showing little inklings of him becoming the Fly, and then whenever it actually shows him starting to become deformed, this is some of the best effects like I've ever seen in any horror movie. Practical effects is one of the best, and I truly, I'm not gonna lie, I almost gagged watching this movie again because the effects that they have for this movie, and thinking about it just makes my stomach churn now. And I usually am not like this in horror movies. I can usually watch anything and not be grossed out, but this movie grosses me out. For example, whenever Brundle is looking in the mirror, and then he, like, sees all, like, he's getting hair all over his face, like the stronger Fly hairs, and then he has his fingernails, and he starts pulling his fingernails off. That stuff is disgusting. And then in the final act, whenever he becomes, like, whenever his face, like, breaks apart and he becomes the actual Fly, that is disturbing and so effective. It truly blows me away with what they did with the practical effects. It is truly one of the best. And it is just, I honestly cringed watching this in the best way possible because those effects are incredible. And I love the buildup. Again, I love how whenever he becomes, like, whenever he goes through the teleportation machine, everything seems fine. Like, he's got everything good for him. And then it starts to slowly show that he's becoming this Fly. And it's not like the original movie, even though I love the original, where the Fly, it's like he's wearing, like, a blanket or, like, a thing over his head, and then, like, she takes it off and he's got the Fly head. It's not just that. It builds up and escalates, showing him viciously be transformed into this Fly. And it just works incredibly well. And I love the fact, too, that after this happens, Veronica realizes that she's pregnant, and then she has the nightmare about having, like, a mutated kid. And I really thought that worked so well in the jump scare dream sequence. I thought that was really good. I don't know why I said jump scare. In the dream sequence. I guess it's just because jump scares are usually in dream sequences a lot. And I guess it's not really a jump scare here. It's like she sees the maggot baby. But it's so effective and it really works. And again, the third act, where it's her and her ex, who's in the movie, and versus Brundle. And Brundle, what he does is since he's become more of the Fly, literally pukes up toxic chemicals onto the guy, and like it melts his leg off and melts off his arm. Like it is so effective. And I love the fact that the last few seconds of the movie, he can't even speak anymore, Brundle. Like, he's fully a Fly. He grabs the shotgun that she has and puts it straight up to his head, and she's like, I can't do it. And I feel like because you built up that relationship so great, she really can't. But then she musters up the courage to do it for the greater good, and she shoots him in the head, and it ends there. She's crying and whimpering, and the movie ends. And I loved how the movie just ends on that horrifying note and sense of dread that this character has just gone through. Like, she's killed the person she loved too. That's horrible, but in the best way. And I love, and I keep saying this, like, it's bad in the best way. Like, this movie is disturbing and disgusting. It's got great performances, incredible practical effects, some of the best I've ever seen. And I just loved everything about this on rewatch. Hey guys, if you like this video, consider checking out my other content. I review a majority of films that are pretty recent, and also older films, and mostly horror as well. Horror is my favorite genre, so I expect a lot of horror. And check out all my links down below. I have a link to Patreon. I have a link to Instagram, link to Twitter, link to my Facebook group, Horror Enthusiast 101, and to my own personal Facebook page, CDR Movie Reviews. And thank you for anybody who watched this video. Thanks for watching.